Today I'm going to explain your 3 selling propositions. Now, you've heard of unique selling proposition, but there are 2 others that are just as, if not more important, in my view, than unique selling proposition that you need to understand. I'm going to explain those within the framework of the lead generation funnel, with one important addition. Now, the reason I want to cover this information is that I'm disturbed by the number of people that create marketing campaigns without adequately having reviewed who they want to actually target, the message that they want to get across. So let's have a look at them. Now, hopefully most of you are intimate with the marketing funnel, the lead generation funnel. The first step in identifying any lead generation campaign is to ask who. Who is the most profitable, cash flow ready target market that I can have? Now, in order to answer the who, you need to look at one of those selling propositions that I mentioned before, and that is your TSP, or your tribal selling proposition. What's your tribal selling proposition? Imagine if you gathered every one of your clients and prospects and customers together and put them on the floor of a warehouse and looked at them from the mezzanine floor. You look down on your tribe. How would you describe the characteristics of your tribe? Let's take, for example, the Red Bull tribe, the Red Bull caffeine drink tribe. How would you describe the tribe that drinks Red Bull? They would be in their late teens, early 20s. They'd be full of adrenaline or dressed in bikinis. They would have GoPro cameras strapped to the sides of their heads in order to capture every moment of their lives. They would be adrenaline junkies, base jumping, parachuting, jet boat racing. That is the tribe that is synonymous with the drink Red Bull. Now, if you have a strong tribal selling proposition, it works for you. It's like your branding, because people think, if I drink Red Bull, then I will take on the characteristics of the Red Bull tribe. Just like the primitive tribes used to think, if they ate the hearts of their enemies, they would take on that courage. So by drinking Red Bull, I get to be an adrenaline junkie. Think of the Mercedes tribe. Put all the Mercedes drivers together in a tribe. What would that tribe have in common? As opposed to the Prius tribe, the hybrid electric car tribe. So your tribal selling proposition is a very good way to identify who it is that you want to actually target your marketing to. Now, the big question is there a difference between the tribal selling proposition you have currently, your current tribe, and the tribe that you actually want? Okay. Is the tribe that you are trying to gather around you what I call sometimes the financially anorexic, grass skirt wearing business owners? Those that have minuscule businesses, they're emotionally exhausted, they've left it to the last minute and they need redemption and fixing. Or is your tribe the talent on the playing field of business? Do they have a strong foundation? They're enthusiastic and they're energetic. How else would you identify the characteristics of your tribe? Now, thinking of it as a tribe is good because it allows you to stand back and view the forest instead of the trees. I find with clients, when I ask clients, what's your A-grade target market characteristic? They can sometimes tell me, oh, well, they'd be this age group and they would do this and they would have that. But often their mind is thinking about 1 or 2 individuals instead of looking back and viewing the tribe. So who is my target market? Who do I want to appeal to? Who is my cash flow ready target market? Bearing in mind the tribal selling proposition that you want, which may be different from what you already have. The next question, of course, is what? What does that particular tribe want to purchase? Now that brings us to the second selling proposition, ESP, or your emotional selling proposition. Okay? What is the emotion that your clients get to experience having invested with or purchasing your product or service? For me, it's about control. See, I don't say it's about money or team or time or anything like that. It is about control, because control over your business allows you to control your time management, to control what happens with your finances, to control your team. Because my tribe of business owners, the reason that they got into business is because they wanted control. They didn't want to be answerable to somebody else. I want to make the decisions. I want to control. So I sell my clients control over their future. So that is the emotional selling proposition. Tribal selling proposition, emotional selling proposition. So what does that tribe want to purchase at an emotional level? The next question, who, what, why? Why would they purchase it from you? Why would they come to you to provide it? And this is, obviously, the last of the selling propositions, your unique selling proposition. That is, why would they choose you as opposed to doing nothing through complacency and apathy? Why would they choose you as opposed to their bank manager, an accountant, an advisor, a consultant, an external business coach, their father-in-law, anybody else that might advise them on business? What makes you uniquely able to provide this emotional selling proposition, what they want, to the tribe that is most attractive to you, or of course your clients? Now, here's a little bit extra in the funnel that I think is important. When in the buying cycle are you hoping, or are you designing your marketing to intercept your target market? I'm sure you've all heard of the AIDA principle. It's an old sales principle: attention, interest, desire, action. First, you get somebody's attention if you're marketing to them. Then they show interest. Yeah, I'm interested in that. And then they start desiring it. This is a translation or a conversion from what is interesting to what they actually want and can see themselves getting themselves. Now, then of course it may take time for them to actually and finally take action. So think of it as almost a wedge of intensity. You get their attention, they have no intention when you get their attention. It's the first time they've heard of it. If you're interesting, okay, that's interesting. And there are many interesting things that you come across every day that you have no intention of getting. But then, the interest moves into the process of desire. I can picture that in my life. And finally, desire moves towards action. Now, when people are interested, or when people are interested and desiring something, there is always a but. Yeah, I'd love to get some help with my business, but it's a busy time of year. Yeah, help would be fantastic, but my finances aren't in the right place. There is always a but. Now, finally, and eventually, the but is removed, and they take action. So where does your marketing intend intercepting your target market? Is it to get their attention? It's got to be quite spectacular to get their attention and make them realize that coaching actually exists, or your product or service, it doesn't matter, exists. How do you make it interesting? Is your marketing designed to be interesting, or do you just go for the sale? Here's me, I'm a business coach, here's why you should pick me. It's like, well, that's not interesting. I've got to be interested. before I can evolve to desire. So you've got to tell fascinating stories as if they are novels or as if they are newspaper articles to get people's interest. Maybe your marketing is designed to intercept people that are already desiring some help with their business. In that case, you don't have to sell them on coaching. All you have to explain to them is your unique selling proposition. Why choose you? Or maybe your marketing is trying to move the point of action closer chronologically. Okay. In that case, your marketing would introduce time offers, a scholarship that expires at the end of March, something that you need to do now before time runs out. So your stables and your compliance in the disc profile, your stables and compliance, they'll make a decision, but they'll tend not to do it until they have to. So you can increase the level of have to right now. So it's very important to consider the when you are in the buy cycle, your marketing is going to intercept your client or your prospect. Finally, who, what, why, when, where. Where do you find this tribe at this point in their buying cycle in the highest densities? Now, there are convenient ways and there are good ways. Okay. One of the convenient ways that we've all cut our teeth on is, of course, networking, BNI and Leeds Club and that sort of stuff. That's great to get out and mix and mingle. But I wonder, as Vic said in New Orleans a couple of weeks back when I was there, there is a tribe that you have to cut your teeth on, and then you want to eventually evolve out of that tribe and start working with good sized businesses. And Vic quite rightly was encouraging people to start on a decent sized business. He had a great idea to say you're not allowed to coach the grass skirt wearers until you're at platinum or above. Okay. So you want to identify where do your ideal target market, your tribe, where are they hanging out in their biggest densities? For me, it's exhibitions. They are exhibitors. They are taking booths out at exhibitions, all sorts of exhibitions and trade shows. Look, in your city, there will be thousands of them. They're hanging out at conferences and conventions. Every year, I used to pay to go to the National Institute of Accountants annual conference, state conference. They never asked, was I an accountant, when I tried to give them $400 to go to the conference. They just said, okay, and took my money. I would network with rooms full of public practice owners at breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea, gala dinners and cocktail parties. And when they would go in for sessions on compliance issues and tax matters, I would go to my hotel room and I would do my coaching calls, or I'd sit by the pool. Where do you find these people in their highest density? And finally, of course, the last question is how? How do you appeal to those people? What is the marketing vehicle? What is the offer that will compel them to take action? All of the how determined by the sales rules and the laws of consensus, the laws of gifting, the laws of authority. There are hundreds of factors that determine